Come let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say, that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say, that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say, that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. This also goes for every Trinbagonian who gone to live in a foreign land. Now is the time to come home and do something, instead of staying out there and freezing. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say, that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Ah, yes, good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we go over to the meeting down at Pleasantville, and we are waiting. So while we wait, we stand by for that meeting. We are ready, we are ready, we are ready. We are ready on our side. They are putting together some technical things on their side, and well, I see a number of things are happening today. The Prime Minister, let me just do that a little bit because I think you all must be hearing a little too much of the music. And right. So today, currently workers would have been given their land. They would have been given their land today, and we will try to see if we can bring that to you subsequently. That was been a busy day, really and truly, and we are just waiting on the start of the PNM meeting down at Pleasantville in San Fernando. And so they are putting probably together the things, and we are just waiting on the start of that meeting down in San Fernando. And I wanted to try to get some, to show you something here from what has happened with this whole CEPEP debacle, because I would have seen whereby Mr. Pastor Wari would have put out a statement today. Yes, he would have put out a statement today. Yeah. So let me just pull up that letter for you all and show it to you all. Right. So Mr. Pies would have made a statement, and just getting it part of that letter for you all while we things just take a little time in Trinidad, but we are ready for the PNM, and I want to, yes, and I want to, but like I forget the most important, one of the most important things. All right, this is nice. I want to. Yes, the meeting is about to start, and let me get it here. Right. So we are just waiting on the meeting. So while we wait on the meeting, let me just go through something quickly, and let me just let you all see a few things here while we are waiting. Yeah, we have to make sure that you all are keeping company while you are waiting for the PNM meeting. It's only the PNM that could lead this country out of the moral that we have found ourselves in with these people. All right. Yes, people. How was the day today? Let me ask for you how your day was today, now, man. How your day was today? My day was very, very much full of activities. You know, people coming to cut down trees, you know, in a drama thing. Yes. Yeah, big trees. You know, and wait, yes, yes. All right. So while we wait, let me go into this one time. Let's see here. All right. So while we're going to PNM, let's take a break. Let's take a break, and we will be right back. Let me take a break, and we will be right back.
BounceUp Central Network. Tune in for shows like Let We Talk to Ting with Sister Jenny every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:30 p.m. Dauntless Defenders of Good Governance, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Culture Points on Thursdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 5 p.m. And Fine Point with Fearless Warrior at various showtimes. For more news, informative content, entertainment, special events, discussion forums, BounceUp Radio, movie watch parties, and to even bust a mark anonymously, visit our BounceUp Central Community Hub, the platform that's we ting, created for we, by we. Keep the conversation going, even after the show. Chat in real time on our 24-hour live chat at BounceUp.com. If you have a passion for news, politics, culture, music, sports, technology, and helping your community, we invite you to come join the BounceUp Central Network family. Come join us.
All right. I do apologize for that, but a bat was only harassing my ass just now. I don't know where that bat come out from, but he had me under pressure. So we go. So this is a CEPEP ruling. This is CEPEP ruling, people. And this is what part of the ruling, in fact, but this is what the judge would have stated in the CEPEP ruling under CV 2025 of the 02737. What is wrong with this back tonight, boy? He went to bed. Nevertheless. So, in the judgment, Mr. Faris is not a party to this. He is not a party to the matter. So, yes, good evening, Ms. Donna Payne. What is wrong with this damn back? Yeah. So, this is the letter here, and let me just give you all part 2 of the letter. So he is not a party to the CEPEP, but the judge did find the case to be valid. The judge did find that the case was valid. It's just that some of those information was not entered into, which it should have, but it didn't find its way in the court, and the judge, the defendant, the claimant, well, the defendant found a technicality in the clause in which they said that there was supposed to have mediation, and yeah, but a budget, you know. Let me drink my water. Mm-hmm. Nothing good like a good punching in a water bottle. When you think it's water you're drinking, it's higher. Quench the thirsty. Hey! So, this is the other part of the letter where Mr. Farisawari is not a party to this thing. So I don't know what they're talking about Farisawari before any before any DPP or even criminal charges and all them notation. That is false, misleading. But you know they want to pour a narrative all the time to make them look good and them look bad. Today, currently workers would have gotten their land deed. Today, yeah, they would have been given their land. So a lot of them would have received their land deed today. Understand? So currently workers receive land today. And the Prime Minister is boasting that ExxonMobil would look when they fall. Hold on. Let me just let them know. Let me call you back in about 10 minutes now. Alive right now. Right? So I'll call you back in 10 minutes. The meeting is about to start. You just wait until it to start. Tell me back in 10 minutes. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Alright. You see, a lot of people didn't know I was actually going to be doing a show today. But today is the PNM meeting. I'm waiting for the broadcast. And it's supposed to be starting at 7 o'clock, most likely. But you know how it is in Trinidad. They got their land, yeah, they got land. And let me tell you something, One thing, I listened to Kamala Prasad Bissessa. Now I just get jacket, Jimmy. And Kamala Prasad Bissessa said something last night, said something yesterday that I took in. And she said, she was talking about the banking institution. She talked about Republic Bank, First Citizen Bank, and Exam Bank. Three of our banks. And one thing, a number of these banks don't want to give the ordinary man, which we have been speaking about for years and years, it's about leveling the playing field. Stop giving people loans to keep them in bondage. Why are you giving a man a mortgage for a vehicle? Why? But you don't want to give them a mortgage. You don't want to give them a land. You don't want to give them land. Every time you go for a loan for land in the bank, they want $1,000,001 thing. But there are those who do get you before you. And that should tell you something. The leveling play field has to be level. It has to be level. That everybody must be able to acquire a piece of property, to be able to build a home, start a business, and all these things. And if it is that we are going to, and that is one thing that if we talking about legacy building, because if it is that these things are on a playing field where people can benefit in this country, and the ordinary man could get a loan to purchase land. I am all well and good for that. Then you're giving me a whole car. Like if I can live in the car, and if something happens, I can't sell back the car to get back my money because why? It depreciates. The land don't depreciate because it can hold a value. And this is what we are to be starting to teach our children and children and children and children to come. Legacy building of owning property. Not car owners. Not come and take a loan for a phone and only foolishness. Or to jump up or to take for me and tell me, hey, I'm going to purchase the property for you. And if your sister can take the loan with you too, then she can help you and you can build up a property and you can rent over and live in part. Nothing is wrong with that. I am all well and good for that. But again, if we don't get we act together as a society and take advantage of what is going to be coming, then we too may feel the full brunt of not having nothing for our children, and children to come. And I want to say, if it is that she's going to be dealing with the banking sector and ensuring that First Citizen Bank, which is the bank which is owned by the people of Trinidad and Tobago, Exam Bank, again, and Republic Bank, which we are right now in control of, the people of Trinidad and Tobago is control of, we have to ensure that we get fair treatment in this country. Let me go on to this part here. Well, I don't want to speak too long because I know that the PNM meeting is coming up. We're just waiting for it to officially start off, and then we will be exiting and leaving the PNM meeting to go forward. So, a man who just tried to call me there, KFC, this is for you. There are altar classes and these are the location, and if you want to come to the one in Shagwana, so remember, if you're going to the one in Shagwana, because you live in the Shagwana area, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. You're going to the Shagwana South Government Secondary. The Shagwana South Government Secondary. That's not too far from where you are. So, people, there's nothing wrong with it. And altar classes are being offered to you, the citizens. Take full advantage. Well, Ms. Payne, we do want to send condolences to you. And we do hope that, you know, but you gotta take it easy. You have got to take it easy, you know, try to don't set up your pressure a little too much. Because just over the weekend, somebody else would have heard that their family died. And by he grieving, at the same time, he got a massive heart attack and he also died. So we don't want you to we know that you're in this kind of pain, But we wanted to take it easy on your health. Take it easy on your health, please. If you have children, remember your children also. If you have grandchildren or nephews and nieces, you have to be there for them. You have to stand up strong for them. Because they are depending on you. They aren't. So, condolences to you, Miss Payne, and we really hope you get through this grieving process. I know it's going to take a little while to get through it, but that is something that we will experience, but it is also something that is hard to get over. All right, and this year, remember this? Remember this? Remember this? PNM cockroaches keep populating. Remember that? Remember what the woman said? Put contraceptives in the water. Imagine that. What do you think these people would? Naila, Ramsaran, let us hard-working UNC supporters continue to pay taxes and mind the loafers that support the PNM. I hope Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mowry, when he was the Prime Minister at the time, start putting contraceptives in the water supply. Yes, because these cockroaches keep populating, and the only thing they know to do is vote. And the reason why I pull up this today, is because every time I go on the social media, if something happens to one set of people in this country, those who call us cockroaches, all kind of derogatory names, these are some of the very first things they be saying when they're putting up on social media. Telling you about contraceptives, for poisoning the water, for the east-west corridor. This is what they will be telling you. Until we had a police commissioner at one time too, talking about he is going to crush those cockroaches. I just listen to them good, you know. I just watch them good. I just read all the comments good. This is what they want to put this country through. This is what this is what I want to do. So you know what? You know what? We're gonna counterattack them. We're gonna counterattack them. It is time for us to stop giving people like Price Mart and all of them with money as membership. Because we actually giving them a start to keep their business going, even though they may not get no sales. The big sales that they want, we give them a start to get their business going. They will call seed capital. They getting seed capital over we. And a number of people have been doing that. Like one who was saying that they give no social services grant at one point in time. $100. Put $100 and they saying, and thousands of people went and get 100. Then the other next day who said, bring 500. That 1,000 for appliances, this, that, the other. So what is wrong with we? What is wrong with we? Why are we not talking putting a $300 or $400? Why? I think what we had to do is more put together some money as a group and let me go and start to do the own thing, invest in the own thing. Let me stop depending on Price Mart and some of these big conglomerates who boasting because they control the real estate, the banking, the food import, you name it. A lot of things they controlling, insurance schemes. What are we controlling? Why over so many years we can't get a banking license for credit unions? Why they must get it for free? Why we like this thing called free? Why we can't contribute a little $100 or $200? That's basically free because if the women like plenty of them bigger media houses, they're paying $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Why we can't say, hey, well you know, go buy fellas. He go highlight it here for $200 and we can run it every day. Every day we can run it for them. Because we have been doing that and we never charge nobody. But why we can't say that? Why we also have this thing that, oh, there's too much money. There's too much money to pay. But we rather go. Let me tell you a story about man. Fiscal wanted to be amongst the so-called elite, I will call them. I say no 1%ers. I say elite. Okay, who you want to hang out with? Have real money. And this man tell himself that if he go and interact with them and he spend money amongst them, he will get contracts and he will get this and he will get that. And he will go and he will spend $5,000, $10,000 lunch with these elite. Now 1 or 2 times he will get through it. 1 or 2 times he will get through. But out of the 1 or 2 times that he get through, He basically was doing over 100 and something because he wanted to be among them. Not realizing that he's spending more, just like a gambler. And not, no, we could go and we could do it. Let them bring a little small thing, now, man. Let them bring a little $100 or $200. Cause why you want to say a whole month? The billboards on them on the highway 500 and 2,300 for 3 days, 4 days. We will do it. Me have no problem with it. I will do it. I will push it for them. I will push it for them. Give me 1 minute. We'll get back to them. Give me 1 minute and we'll be right back.
BounceUp Central Network. Tune in for shows like Let We Talk to Ting with Sister Jenny every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:30 p.m. Dauntless Defenders of Good Governance, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Culture Points on Thursdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 5 p.m. And Fine Point with Fearless Warrior at various showtimes. For more news, informative content, entertainment, special events, discussion forums, BounceUp Radio, movie watch parties, and to even bus a mark anonymously, visit our BounceUp Central Community Hub, the platform that's We Ting, created for we, by we. Keep the conversation going, even after the show. Chat in real time on our 24-hour live chat at BounceUp.com. If you have a passion for news, politics, culture, music, sports, technology, and helping your community, we invite you to come join the BounceUp Central Network family. Come join us.
We have to start supporting the own. We have to start supporting the own cause. Tell all them small businesses. When I was training it out and I was saying, oh, well, bring 10 people, let me train them. 10 people, we can't get 10 people. People afraid to want to tell people, hey, you want to start a thing, you want to do it, you want to do that. 10 people. So I am saying, look, here what happens. If there are things to be done, and I do have a problem in doing it. I do have a problem in doing it, cause well, me, if they want to like, share, me here, I do business. You see the nice thing about it, somebody has tell somebody and somebody has tell somebody outside it. And that's how the thing they grow. If people want to be selfish and don't want to press the like button, the share button, or the subscribe button, I can't help them with that. But the thing about it is that, why must we jump to this? No, but it's true. It's like if they press the share button or the like button or the thing button, somebody will punish them for pressing it. Or no, I wonder if they will know if it's me who press it, boy. Or I wonder if they will know if it's me who press it. So I don't want to press it for them to like it. And and then they see me, and then they will victimize me, or they will call me out, and they will say, well, I see over there. No, nobody can see the press a like and share or a subscribe button. Nobody can see that. Nobody can see that. But if we contribute, and let me tell you, I'm going to start it, tomorrow I'm going in town. I'm going in town tomorrow, I'm going to get a bank account, and I'm going to pay it up here. I'm going to pay it up here, and I'm going to look to do a barbecue. I want to see how much people will support the barbecue. Now, don't ask when they're going to deliver no barbecue quite all over the country, because I want to send it to City Post, and you know you get it the next day. But don't want the barbecue, and you want to buy a certain amount, well, I have no problem. I will jump on a bus and I will bring it to you. In San Fernando, or a meeting point, or wherever it is. But I'm going to do it. I will call this return woman, Mr. Dana, if there's anything, or Alti and them, I will call them out. They love to cook. You see, and now told me about that, you know, and look, they start to read with the shit. Indra, where you just come up from? Alright, so, tomorrow we will talk more on that. Tomorrow we will talk more on that as we go over to the People's National Movement for the meeting.
Talent.
Okay, so we now cross over to the PNM's meeting, and we will see you all tomorrow back here.
Good evening. This is a special prayer. Don't look at the prayer. Pray with the prayer, because we need it. We need it every passing hour, because you have darts and pickers coming from you from every end. So let us pray. Father, we come before you. We come, God, humble. We come meek. We invite you, Father, into our presence. And we pray that you're going to cover us with your blood. Father, as we stand before you, we ask you, God, if there's anything that we have done that is not pleasing in your sight, to remove it. Forgive us, God, for all that we have done that was not right. And we pray that you place what is right before us. Father, we know that you are the Alpha and the Omega. You are the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And we pray this evening that no weapon that is formed against us is going to prosper. And every tongue that rises up against us, in the name of Jesus, we condemn. We pray, God, that you're going to cover the People's National Movement, every officer, from the political leader right down to the last senator, right down, God, to the last person that stands within this political party. We pray, God, that you bind us together with your love. Bind us with understanding and with grace. May everything that we do be done to your honor and to your glory. We pray this evening that you will direct, you will choose our path, and you will show us where to go. You will direct our leaders, God. And everyone that stands before you today, we pray, God, that you cover them. Father, every contractor that moves from CEPEP, the URP, WASA, whatever, God, that they will remove from, we pray that you're going to comfort us. Father God, you're going to direct the legal team, God, as they go forth on our behalf. Father God, look on us today and keep us together. We pray that you touch from the east to the west, the north and the south, and you bring us together as one, that we could be united, because you tell me united we stand and divided we fall. Father, have mercy today and cover us. May this meeting be a success. May this meeting meet needs. And Father God, everyone that stands before you, we pray, God, thankfully in your name to see another day. Bless us all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Ms. Joan Allen. The Honorable Penelope Beckles, political leader of the People's National Movement, opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, member of Parliament for Arima, who is on her way. Honorable Brian Manning, member of Parliament for San Fernando East. Honorable Hans de Veens, member of Parliament for Diego Martin West. Senator Faris Al-Rawi, SC, PNM Public Relations Officer and Opposition Senator. Senator Vishnu Dan Paul, Opposition Senator. Your Councillor, our Mayor, His Worship, Councillor Robert Paris, the Mayor of the City of San Fernando and the Councillor for Pleasantville. Deputy Political Leader, Party and Election Matters, Mrs. Jennifer Batiste Primus. Members of the San Fernando City Council, officers of the movement, San Fernando East Executive, friends, well-wishers, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the People's National Movement has been hard at work, fully understanding the serious responsibility that rests on our shoulders. We are here to help rescue this nation from this present government. They came with a slick slogan, but up to now, nobody is seeing the win. The promises were plentiful, but the progress on those promises still out of sight. Tonight, the PNM comes to San Fernando East with purpose and conviction, bringing to you a battery of powerful speakers led by our political leader, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson. This evening, we will highlight the many challenges our nation has faced over the last few months and propose the way forward to reclaim stability, dignity, and sound leadership. But first, permit me to recognize the Vice Chairman, Vice Chairman of the People's National Movement, also an Opposition Senator, Dr. the Honorable Amory Brown. Give him a round of applause. Party Elections Officer, Mr. Indar Parsram. Ladies and gentlemen, be not dismayed. Psalm 30 verse 5 tells us, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And as we prepare for the return to good, grounded, and stable governance, our joy is indeed on the horizon. That joy, our hope, is embodied in the woman leading this charge, the Honorable Penelope Althea Beckles Robinson. A woman of calm strength and unwavering resolve, focused, sure-footed, and grounded, steadfast in the face of noise, unmoved by distraction. She is relentless in her service to the people, a true vanguard. She leads from the front, step by step, bit by bit, with our beloved Trinidad and Tobago to the heights of strong, principled PNM governance. This is no ordinary pain that our people face, but the People's National Movement has realigned and stands ready in full defense of the people. This is no easy road, but we must come together. We must bind together to ensure we return to the glory land, a place of dignity, opportunity, and vision. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome a tireless servant of the people. He has served your electoral district with distinction for 5 terms. Your counselor for the electoral district of Pleasantville, the mayor of the city of San Fernando, His Worship, Councillor Robert Paris.
Political leader and next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Penelope Althea Beckles Robinson. Member of Parliament for the constituency of San Fernando East, the Honorable Brian Manning. Member of Parliament for the constituency of Digomartin West, the Honorable Hans Devines. Former Member of Parliament for the constituency of San Fernando West, Senator Faris Alwari. Senator Vishnu Dampal, sir. Our youth speaker, Ms. Diamond John Williams, Vice Chairman of the San Fernando East Youth League. Members of the executive of the People's National Movement, other distinguished members of the movement, members of the 12th San Fernando City Council, my colleagues, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening to you. It is with great honor and pride that I welcome not only our political leader to San Fernando, but to Pleasantville, the community that Patrick built. This community is accustomed to true PNM representation, and when the time comes to return to the polls, history will remind you that we in Pleasantville are PNM and proud. It is no secret that over the past month, our community has taken a firm stance against political vindictiveness. As your local government representative, I have taken the steps of engaging our former CEPEP workers under short-term casual employment to ensure that Pleasantville remains clean. I am aware that this action has drawn attention, and to our friends in the media, I will say this. Patrick Manning taught us, and he taught me, that whenever you have guests in your home, you take pleasure and pride in your surroundings. Imagine this. The very same people who once dismissed CEPEP as being about painting stones are now suggesting that local government should pick up the slack for CEPEP. But let me remind them, in 2010, when they stopped the land and building taxes, they stripped the corporations of the ability to collect surplus revenues for the proper maintenance of municipalities. That decision also prevented public health from entering properties, billing errant landowners according to the rates card of the corporation that had to cut vacant lots. So I ask this government, why are you trying to justify political wickedness with UNC political foolishness? Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the midst of a national public health crisis. And until UNC Master Days is well and truly done, I will see to it that Pleasantville remains clean. The people require results, not rhetoric. Show the people that you care in this time of despair. So my friends, it is not time for shrinking back or bowing to fear, or bowing rather to fear. Pleasantville has always been one of the resilient pride and progress places in the constituency of San Fernando East. And as long as I have the privilege to serve, and I stand firm for our community, for San Fernando, and for the great People's National Movement, together, we will rise above the noise, cut through the distractions, and keep delivering to our people. Let them talk. Keep talking, we will work. Let them scheme. Keep scheming, we will build. And when history looks back, and it will record that in the face of challenge, Pleasantville stood strong and proud and remained PNM to the bone. My task is simple: to welcome each and every one of you here to my vibrant community. And for our guests to the city of, and our guests, I welcome you to the city of San Fernando. And I end by reminding everyone that the PNM is great. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And it shall prevail. Thank you sincerely.
San Fernando East Pleasantville, let's hear it again for your councillor and mayor, Councillor Robert Paris. And Mayor, we thank you for your dedication and your service. Mayor forgot to tell you about this camp that he is hosting in Skinner Park, where scores of children have been exposed to different skills. And what I'll tell you is if your children missed it this year, you would want to try and get them registered early next year. Congratulations, Mayor, an excellent initiative. Permit me to recognize and welcome the chairman of the People's National Movement, Honorable Marvin Gonzalez. And there's this gentleman sitting down in the corner quietly. You could barely see him, but that is the Member of Parliament for Malabar, Mausika, Honorable Dominic Romain. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming one of San Fernando East's, yes, folks, there is this gentleman working really hard behind the scenes. He is the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin Central, Honorable Simon de Nobrega, our SIO. We are so happy to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming one of San Fernando East's proud daughters, a passionate young leader dedicated to community development and youth empowerment. At just 23 years old, Diamond John Williams has made a significant impact through her active involvement in initiatives that inspire and uplift our youth. Currently serving as the Vice Chairman of the San Fernando East Youth League, Diamond exemplifies leadership, energy, and commitment to shaping a brighter future for all. Let's give a warm round of applause for our youth speaker, Miss Diamond John Williams.
Good evening, PNM family. I stand on the established protocols, but permit me to acknowledge political leader of the People's National Movement, leader of the opposition, and member of parliament for Rima, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson. His Worship, the Mayor Councillor Robert Paris. Member of Parliament for San Fernando East, and my MP, Mr. Brian Manning. Chairman of the PNM National Youth League, Mr. Patrick Phillips. Members, supporters, and friends. It is both a pleasure and an honor to address you tonight on this historic occasion, where the people of San Fernando East welcome the first female political leader of this great party, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson. As a young woman finding my place in this world, watching our political leader break barriers as the first female political leader of the People's National Movement is deeply inspiring. Her leadership proves that leadership is not defined by gender, that with courage, vision, and hard work, women can stand tall at the forefront of change. It shows young girls in our communities that they can see themselves reflected in positions of power, leading with poise, strength, and determination. It is living proof that no dream is out of reach, no role is off limits, and no challenge is too great for a woman with a purpose. Madam Political Leader, your example reminds us that the road to leadership may be demanding, but every step is worth it. Tonight, I stand encouraged, believing that women like me can one day help shape our country's future as the innovators, the groundbreakers, and the leaders we are meant to be. But while we celebrate progress, my PNM family, we must also face the reality of this new administration. When the UNC shut down youth programs, they did not just close doors, they closed off hope. They did not just cut budgets, they cut dreams. They did not just cancel classes, they canceled futures. And now they have gone further, firing workers from URP and CEPEP, taking bread from families' tables, and ripping dignity away from men and women who only ask for a fair chance to work. You cannot claim to care about poverty while you are creating it. You cannot claim to be for the people while you are firing the people. But the PNM is different. We understand that the dignity of a job is the foundation of a strong community. We understand that empowering youth is not just about giving opportunities, but about igniting ambition, nurturing potential, and creating spaces where their voices are heard and valued. When all young people are equipped with knowledge, mentorship, and confidence, they become the innovators, problem solvers, and nation builders of tomorrow. As a vice chairman of the San Fernando East Youth League, I can tell you, our fight is not just in meetings and marches. It is in our streets. in our communities, and in every space where young people gather. It is about being present when our youth need guidance, about speaking up when others stay silent, and about turning frustration into action. The vice chairman's role is not a title, it is a responsibility. A responsibility to keep our youth active, informed, and awake. And I promise you, San Fernando East will always have a youth league that fights with heart, vision, and determination. Because defending the people means defending their future. It means making sure the young man on the block knows there's a better path. It means making sure the young woman chasing her dream gets the opportunity she deserves. It means making sure every citizen knows that the PNM is on the ground, in the community, and always on the people's side. So tonight, I say to the UNC, stop spinning stories, stop stealing smiles, and stop strangling the spirit of our youth. Slam shut your selfish schemes, silence your sour slogans, and start supporting the strength and success of Trinidad and Tobago's sons and daughters. And come 2030 or before, when the PNM is back in government under our leader extraordinaire, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson, we will all shout in one accord, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall remain. I love you, only the PNM has a plan. PNM's got love, 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 love. PNM understands, PNM's got the love, love.
Diamond, we are so proud of you and PNM family. This is Diamond's first time on a political platform. What a debut that was. We are grateful that Diamond and so many other young people across this country recognize the gravity of the damage being done by this UNC government, closing doors of hope, dashing dreams, and canceling futures. But tonight, voices like Diamond's remind us that the youth, they are watching, they are aware, and the youth, they are ready to stand for something better. Well done, Diamond. Again, please permit me to recognize our Deputy Political Leader, Mr. Sanjeev Boodoo. Welcome to Pleasantville. As we continue with our program this evening, I now present to you, we have Mr. Ian Atherley. Good evening, sir. Welcome. Former mayor of the city of San Fernando. I now present to you a man who is no stranger to San Fernando East. He carries a name that is woven into the history of San Fernando East and Trinidad and Tobago. But he has carved a path that is distinctly his own. He has served and continues to serve as your member of parliament. This is the MP who has walked the length and breadth of San Fernando East every single Saturday from 2020 to 2025 without fail. A former minister in the Ministry of Finance, he holds a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and a Master of Science in Finance and Asset Management. And he has been paying keen attention and consistently highlighting the misjudgments and the missteps of this current government. Friends of San Fernando East, join me in welcoming your Member of Parliament, the Honorable Brian Manning.
Yes, that is our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it have one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try. just a little harder. If we just get one more try, I could be my sweetheart.
All right, music man, now that is the party and whole night, you know. Take your time. Folks, before I begin, another round of applause for that fantastic contribution by our youth vice chairman. Political leader of the People's National Movement and member of Parliament of Arima, opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Penelope Beckles. Members of the executive of the People's National Movement, members of the executive of the constituency of San Fernando East, members of Parliament, my dear friends, members of the media, welcome to San Fernando East. It is truly an honor to have you all in our presence this evening. And let me tell you, I'm extremely grateful. The last election was extremely challenging for all of us, but I am thankful that the people of San Fernando East saw it fit to return me as their member of parliament. Thank you. And I promise that we will continue the good work that we have started in this constituency. And during this time in the political wilderness, we will not allow the people of San Fernando East to be victimized by this government. Because that is clearly what they are out to do, ladies and gentlemen. Thousands of CEPEP workers out of jobs overnight without a care in the world. That is what they have done. And what bothers me the most about that is that there are leaders of the trade union movement involved with this government, and they had absolutely nothing to say. Trade union leaders who are supposed to be the representatives of the working class and the people in this country, all of a sudden they're wearing jacket and tie. They're up on two legs. A man who in office for barely 3 months now, when asked about the tens of thousands of CEPEP, URP, and forestry workers who were summarily dismissed from their honest jobs, described them callously as collateral damage. This is a trade union leader, and that is why the People's National Movement has always warned about politicized unions. We have trade union leaders in this country who are no longer loyal to their membership. They are loyal to their UNC masters. And you've seen it loud and clear. Union leaders making $100,000 a month off their membership dues, talking about their members and the working class while kissing up and answering to the Prime Minister. I heard the Prime Minister the other day in the news saying that we were a nation of grass cutters. How disrespectful. Let me tell the Prime Minister what my grandmother told me when I was growing up, that there is nothing wrong with an honest day's work. What message is the Prime Minister sending to the young people of this country? They took people who are waking up every morning, going to work, doing their jobs, putting food on their families' tables, clothes on their backs, and sending them to school, dismiss them, and now they want to send them to social welfare to beg for handouts from the government. They say CEPEP is a handout. Social welfare is what? That is the handout. They have a UNC fella in this constituency. All of a sudden, I see he having a book drive for school books and school bags to send children back to school. Why don't leave the people with their jobs so they could provide for their own families? Why he didn't do that? But that is not what they want. They want you to come to them begging, cap in hand, so that they can become your new masters. That's what they want. They think that we are easily bought, and it's high time that we show them that they are wrong. During the election campaign, I said, whatever they come to you with, whatever gifts, please take it. Take it and enjoy it. But don't be fooled. Don't take the stove today and have nothing to cook tomorrow. Don't take the fridge today and have nothing to put in it tomorrow. Don't take the $500 in a yellow jersey and your children have no more work training programs to attend after this wicked UNC government is in office. And folks, so said, so done. They couldn't even wait. They were excited to put all those people on the breadline in this country. And when you ask them about the economy, how is it that these persons who were made unemployed, who were already some of the most vulnerable in this country, where will they be absorbed? Where is it that they can find alternative employment? The Prime Minister is seen asking for divine intervention. I want to tell the Prime Minister again, something else my grandmother told me, that faith without works is dead. Nothing is wrong with prayer. I'm all for it. But you must have a plan. And you must be prepared to do what is in the best interest of the people of this country. And that is not what this government is doing. As soon as they come into office, the Minister of Finance, the hapless Minister of Finance, and the Prime Minister decide to cancel every single short and medium-term revenue-generating project of the previous government, just out of sheer spite and wickedness. And now they have backed themselves into a corner because they're having difficulty covering their bills. How many people have been paid late in the past few months? How many people haven't been paid in the past few months? I want to remind this country, during the COVID crisis, when the revenues of this country fell to zero, everyone in the public service of this country received their salary in full and on time. No excuses were made and none were. They never had a plan and they do not know what they're doing. The first thing they did, they canceled the TTRA. They canceled property taxes. They canceled the Dragon deal. They canceled the reopening of the Petrotrin refinery. Imagine that. The previous government was prepared with a contract after months of due diligence. We finally found someone from Nigeria who was willing to purchase the former Petrotrin refinery assets and to invest into that refinery and to reopen it so that thousands of jobs could be created within San Fernando and environs. Instead of allowing this to go through, now we're hearing, before in the campaign trail, they said, well, we're giving the refinery to the union, to OWTU. As soon as they get into office, we will set up a committee to decide what we're going to do with the refinery. All of a sudden, the union leaders in this country owe their membership an apology. They owe them an apology. We have the members of the PSA fighting tooth and nail to disrupt the TTRA, the Trinidad Revenue Authority. I want you to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, there's a revenue authority in Guyana, in Jamaica, in Barbados. I read recently there's not one in Belize. The Revenue Authority is a modernization of the tax collection system and has been proven to improve tax revenues in this country.
As we welcome our champion, the woman who was called for this time, and this season, a leader of quiet strength and steadfast truth, a voice to the people, and tender to the people, a vision, a hope, and the table. The leader of the opposition, our political leader, member of parliament, for a reason. Honorable, the honorable, the enough of our leaders outside, so we hold Ladies and gentlemen, the woman who was called for this time was Jesus, our champion, quiet strength, steadfast focus, a voice for the people. The leader of the opposition and our political leader, member of Parliament for Arima, the Honorable Penelope Robinson.
This is about our children's future. We can't give up now. We must believe. We come on up together as a nation. Stand side by side. Still I know, but we gonna get there. Stand side by side. I see the places where we all come from. I see the last one. We gonna get there. Whoa. I say we gonna get there. I must believe we as a nation must believe. The officers, the readers, I must believe. Must stand for honesty, must believe. To defend democracy, must believe. I must believe.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to our political leaders. And we go right back to Mr. Manning.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause, please, for the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate having this wonderful lady here in San Fernando East to enjoy the warm embrace and to understand what Southern love is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that warm welcome. Folks, I want to say to the members of this government, in fact, I want to offer them a warning that the honeymoon is over. The opposition is not going to sit idly by and allow this government to run roughshod over the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Do not let your overwhelming numbers in the parliament fool you. Some PNM supporters in the last election did not show up, but they didn't disappear. They are all still alive and well in this country. And we are not going to sit by and allow victimization. Already, members of that party and government are being summarily booed all over the country, everywhere they go. Everywhere they go. It's a short honeymoon because the people of this country feel deceived because we are getting exactly what we expected. Folks, in the next few months, I expect to see in this country, in terms of its economy, a self-inflicted recession. We are going to see it. It's unfortunate. But what this government is doing, it is clear as day that that is what is happening. Already, you see economists around this country sending out a warning about a shortage of foreign exchange in this place. All the time they were trying to deceive you to make you think that somehow the previous government just didn't want to give you US, that something was wrong with the distribution system. They were only giving their family and friends, so you couldn't get any. Total nonsense. Total nonsense. We had a shortage in supply. When this previous government was struggling to really take care of the people of this country, they were the ones calling for sanctions from the United States. locally and internationally, calling for sanctions on their own country and their own people. Now the US has sanctioned this country with tariffs. Let me see what it is they're going to say and do. Those tariffs are going to exacerbate the shortage of foreign exchange in this country and put further pressure on our exchange rate. The exchange rate of this country is based on supply and demand. At this point in time, we have high demand and lowering supply, and that is going to force a devaluation in this country, sad to say. And folks, we only have this government to blame. They were against Dragon Deal. We were expecting billions of additional revenues from that project. Scrap it. TTRA, Revenue Authority. The Revenue Authority was supposed to allow a taxation system that meant that everyone would pay their fair share in this country. It means that members of the business class and professional class would also have to pay their fair share in taxes, not just employees. They cancel that immediately with no hope of any alternative. That is malfeasance. And the sad part of it is that we will all suffer for it. We will suffer. But I promise you that under the leadership of Ms. Beckles-Robinson and this opposition, we will fight the good fight for the people of this country. We will not just roll over and die. Our supporters still are alive and well and exist. And those who may have even supported the UNC in the previous election are quickly learning the error of their ways. They're learning. So I expect very soon, if we all come together and we work as one and we support each other and we do what is right for the people of this country. Do what is right, not what is political. Do what is right by people. Very soon, maybe even before 2030, we will all be able to say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we have prevailed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Wake up in the morning and it's more retrenchment. I can't take that. When they want to stop all this humiliation, I can't take that.
San Fernando East, PNM friends, that is our Member of Parliament, the Honorable Brian Manning. The PNM always has a plan. The PNM has never been a party of excuses. Faith without works is dead. Our next speaker has built a remarkable 20-year media career in hosting, producing, acting, script writing. He also holds an MBA with distinction. And if you're ever looking for him and you're having difficulty finding him, go to his office on a Thursday morning from 6 a.m. He is there. Ladies and gentlemen, he is also the Member of Parliament for Digo Martin West. Please join me in giving a warm San Fernando East welcome to Honorable Hans Devines.
Like what happened, like we get them the place to run and like they cannot run it, what? Like what happened, like we get them the place to run and like they cannot run it, what? Like we get them the place to run and like they cannot run it, what going on? What fun? I said that to her, we get all the place to run, we run it, brother!
After me surround the marathon and go around it, to let the chance on down the place and put the money.
Mass firings, compounded lies, a vindictive AG, a two-day prime minister that is ready to bust a minister's heads. The UNC cannot run this place. The Honorable Penelope Beckles-Robinson, political leader, opposition leader, Member of Parliament for Arima, and I say without fear of contradiction, the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. First citizen of the city of San Fernando. They worship the mayor, councillor, Paris. my parliamentary colleagues, esteemed officers of the movement, and the San Fernando East Constituency Executive. And I must acknowledge San Fernandian, San Fernando East Constituency, and of course my constituency of Tego Martin West. I want you all to really think about the team leading this country today. Walk with me on a journey and listen to how I'm going to spell this out. We have a Minister of Public Utilities whose priority was firing workers in CEPEP, URP, reforestation, and a WASA CEO who fixed all the water problems in Barbados. The UNC cannot run this place. We have a Foreign Affairs Minister who caused foreign affairs problems in his first week in office. And he said within 7 days, he's going to fix all the visa issues. 100 days have passed. The UNC cannot run this place. We have a Minister of Culture who went to the Emancipation Village and days after disrespected the Emancipation Committee. And then she had the audacity to walk in the parade. And it's no wonder she got booed when she went World Steel Pan Day yesterday. The UNC cannot run this place. We have a Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation wondering why road fatalities are up, and they removed the demerit points. The UNC cannot run this place. We have a Minister of Social Development, and let me tell you, I could applaud giving out fish to your constituents because I love my constituents bad. But let me tell you something. Start to distribute the grants and food cards now, please. Because it's showing us again the UNC cannot run this place. We have a Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs. Cancel all the youth programs. CCC. All the beautiful programs outlined when Foster Cummins was the Minister of Youth Development and National Service. Disappeared. Gone. All the programs that were teaching us how to fish, they're gone. But she giving away fish. Hold on, we're coming back there. We have a Minister of Public Administration, and let me tell you something that people didn't notice, right? The man launched something called Anansi, AI for Government Services, right? He's the Minister of Public Administration and AI. You know when you search on the app, who's the Minister of Public Administration, they tell you the ministers Camille Robinson Regis. The Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence, his intelligence is clearly artificial. The UNC cannot run this place all year. PNM people, I want all you know that. We have 3 ministers of housing. We have 3 ministers of housing, you know. 3 ministers of housing. Not one brick lay, not one community discuss. They promised 500 houses. How much will you see so far? None. And to top it all off, we have a Minister of Finance who could not pay workers on time this month. Last month, well, it takes so long that it falls into this month and after, right? So we have a Minister of Finance who could not pay the workers on time. And all I want to tell all is, Colm Imbert would never. And we're in San Fernando East. So I must quote the general. Must quote the boss. PNM makes governance look easy. And while the PNM makes governance look easy, in 6 months, 100 days, actually in less than 6 months, the little 100 days pass, the UNC has somehow made the country harder. Just think about that. The UNC cannot run this place. Now, today's International Youth Day, and our Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs had the audacity to post something on this day. And we won't get too deep into him right now. But tonight, I want to intentionally defend so many of our young professionals, many of whom have been unceremoniously dismissed from their jobs. In the office of the AG, some of them who are working in CEPEP, URP, reforestation, but also in the Ministry of Youth Affairs. We've seen the firings. And you know what's hurtful about it? These were qualified professionals. Whether or not you support the PNM, they were qualified professionals. The question should not be which party they supported. The question should be, are they qualified for the job? And I say without fear, every single one of them were qualified. When you listen and you talk to them and you hear their resume and you know the strenuous, difficult interview process that they went through to qualify for the position and really state their claim. Now, going a little further, something that people are not talking about. There are people who are in acting positions right now that are not being paid their salary because they have not been assigned to the relevant ministries. That is happening around us. There are people, they are your mothers, brothers, sisters, who are not being paid their full salary because they are in acting positions. That is what is going on around us right now. They cannot manage our government. They cannot manage our country of Trinidad and Tobago. The RHA boards, there's no RHA board. And because of that, doctors are already complaining in terms of the hiring process happening. Sport TT board, the other day we saw our hockey men's team almost get sanctioned because they could not make a trip. They were sitting there waiting with their bags to be told when to head to the airport, and it never came. The funding never came. And that is a reality. No sport TT board. Exim Bank, which helps our manufacturers. Now we are seeing all of the products on our shelves right now. But it is going to affect the process. It is going to affect the supply chain of products around us because they are unable to order their raw materials. That is a reality happening around us that people are not talking about. The fact that Exim Bank actually has no board right now. Now, San Fernando, I want you all to understand something, right? These people around us, they are very deceitful. Very, very deceitful. But you know what? In all things, I'm glad Susan hung here tonight. Let me tell you all something, right? Sometimes when you feel a little lost, the good Lord is sending you scripture in different ways. This week, I ended up in the first church of the Open Bible here in San Fernando. Now the pastor, Peggy Bethel, right? I like how the name kind of sung like Penelope Beckles, little close now, right? So she quoted 2 Timothy 4, verse 3 to 5. Let me give you all something here. For the time will come when people would not put up with sound doctrine. In other words, they're not listening to the sensibility that you're telling them, right? Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. It's what you want to hear, but it's not what really happening, right? They will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if that in song like UNC win, everybody win, I don't know what does. But I'll tell you, when UNC win, the firing does begin. We warn them, we warn the nation. PNM people, they have a last part of that scripture, and I want you all to pay attention to this, right? This is the last part of the scripture. But you keep your head in all situations, endure hardship, do the work of an evangelist, discharge all the duties of your ministry. That is what we are doing, PNM people. That is why our leader and our members of parliament and our representatives throughout the constituencies are walking the constituencies, meeting the people. We're doing the work of the ministry. So PNM people, and even if you just want to get involved in the People's National Movement, Now is the time. Now is the time. Contribute in any way possible. Because what is upon us, I want you all to know it is deeper than politics. Let me give you all an example, right? Imagine a man would go to a CC Winans concert, right? Hear what he say in the concert. His favorite artist is CC Winans. Don't even know the name of the artist. He can't even quote a single song. Cannot quote the name of the song properly. So if he could lie about liking a gospel artist in a gospel concert, what he could lie about? Think about that. Like in real life, only think about that. These are the people who are in front of us. This war is not just a war of the flesh. This is a spiritual war because these people are spiritually different. I want you all to know that. Know that. So listen, when I say contribute to the movement, even if it is through your prayers for our parliamentary representatives, please do it because we need it. The struggle is real. And it could be 26 of them penny, but 13 away is 13 bad warriors. So I'll tell you this. There's a saying from Abraham Lincoln. If he had 6 hours to cut a tree, he would take 4 hours to sharpen the axe. And I want you all to know that our leader has sharpened the axe. She has been through local government. She has been an ambassador, a diplomat. She has toiled. She has toiled, she has toiled, she has toiled. And the axe is sharpened. So I want you all to know that the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is Penelope Beckles Robinson. But that's not just the story that we want. Let me tell you the real story. Give us a Minister of Foreign Affairs like Dr. Amory Brown was, who will not embarrass us. Give us people that actually understand finance like Brian Manning, Dominic Romaine, and of course, Colin Mimble. Give us ministers like Kareem Marcel. Give us Vishnu Dan Paul back again because he knows the things. Give us Faris Al-Rari, a man who understands what's going on and how to take care of things. Give us a national security minister that could talk properly. Give us a man that is serious about public utilities like Marvin Gonzalez was. Very serious. It is with your support. It is with every one of your support. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, get involved with the People's National Movement. Mothers, tell your sons. Fathers, tell your daughters. Tell your cousin, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your tanty, and then bring them. Because the PNM is our party ready to embrace everybody. That is what we are about. So we will restore competence. We will put professionals back in their jobs. We will fix the economy so Shell stay. And whenever, within the next 57 months, because we're counting it down, it could happen before, but we know it's 57 for the most. Whenever that election is called, we shall stand and say with competence over chaos, UNC cannot run this place. And great is the PNM! Great is the PNM! Great is the PNM! And we shall prevail!
They not like us. They not like us. You think that they gonna let you disrespect Pop, nigga? I think that open show will be your last stop, nigga. They cold foul. I don't know why you still pretend. What was that?
Oh, you didn't see how Diego Martin West came all the way to San Fernando to show off with the MP? Permit me to recognize Senator Janelle John Bates, who is with us this evening. Honorable Kareem Marcel, Member of Parliament for Pleasantville West and Youth Officer of the People's National Movement. And please also recognize Mr. Patrick Phillip, Chairman of the National Youth League, who has been in the background getting the job done. Our next guest, a proud San Fernandian and no stranger to the spotlight. Over the years, he has worn many hats with distinction, from Attorney General, where he has championed critical legislative reform, to Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, where he worked to strengthen communities across our nation. He has served as the Member of Parliament for San Fernando West for 2 terms. A man who is often under fire, but as the old saying goes, no one throws stones at trees without fruit. San Fernando, please join me in welcoming Senator Faris Al-Rawi, SC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Hans set the stage here. He mash up the place. He bring the vibes. And Brian Manning just crystallized the only way to introduce my leader, the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Penny Althea Beckers Robinson. That's it. His Worship the Mayor, we in your house. All protocols observed to my dear brothers and sisters in this filled auditorium. So time tight, time to jump into the dance. You heard, they can't run this place. Last night was 100 days of celebration of Yellow is the Curse. 100 days. Let me put some facts down onto the table. In 100 days, 11,000 CEPEP workers fired. 5,000 URP workers fired. 5,000 forestry workers fired. 400 WASA workers fired. 900 Regional Health Authority number 1 workers fired. 700 in another Regional Health Authority fired. 200 change agents in rural development, local government fired. 10 WASA managers fired. 2,800 workers inside of the temporary program in HTC fired. Ladies and gentlemen, when you add that up, that is 30,000 people in 100 days. That means 300 people a day fired. You feeling the love? They condemned me the night of the election when I said, I am guaranteeing you that there will be terrorism to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. How Faris could say that? How he could say that? Listen, folks, it's 15 years I in public life in the front line now. Remember when Dr. Rowley said every night is Faris, 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 Faris? You have to ask yourself, why? Why is there an attack on me? But let me just tell certain people in the government, in the UNC, I am afraid none of all you. Not one of you all. Because I am defended by the truth, by the law, and by logic. And oh Lord God, all I need to come plenty better than you've been coming. So let's get the details. Drive around San Fernando. Drive to the waterfront development that we were doing. You saw all of the hoarding up, the contract ready for housing. You saw the fishing port and facility, the highway built, the place clean, housing village improvement going on today. Grass 12 feet tall. They thief out all the galvanized, all of the hoarding on the waterfront, all gone. the fishing port can't open yet. It is rumored that San Fernando West has an MP named Michael Dowlat. Rumored. People in Mbakade calling me morning, noon, and night. Olera Heights, morning, noon, and night. Roy J, morning, noon, and night. Marabella, morning, noon, and night. Not a soul can find the MP. But let's get to the real issues now. In the People's National Movement, we're having a conversation every day on CEPEP. Last night, a little man, a little fella, stand up and tell me, put something in my pipe and smoke it. I want to tell that little fella, stop watching pipe. I want to tell him, when you're smoking a pipe and you're telling people you're going to decriminalize marijuana and take it away, you're raising the age of alcohol to 21, and I don't mean what you all were just thinking. I am talking in all seriousness about the governance of this country. You see, I saw this little fella last night stand up and tell the people that they have launched criminal action. The government has taken criminal action in the CEPEP matter. Newspapers today quoting legal proceedings against Faris Al-Rawi. I had cause to go on the radio to this legal proceedings. I have received no pre-action protocol, no threat. I've received no knock on the door from the police. I hear him talk that the big news story in this country is about a cabinet decision. And I saw this little fella last night holding up a piece of paper. And in that piece of paper, he reads out a letter from the CEO of CEPEP. And the CEO of CEPEP on the 11th of August wrote to the chairman of CEPEP, Mr. Dane Maraj, and it is captioned, Ray, meaning concerning, request for information relative to Cabinet Minute number 1327 of July 27, 2017. Now, what's that about? The Minister of Finance at the time in 2017 is a gentleman named Colum Imbert. What do you know him? Come outside, right? Minister Imbert wrote to then Minister of Local Government and to CEPEP and said, listen, in 2017, the cabinet made a decision. The minister was Frankie Khan, God rest his soul, followed by Kazim Hussein. The cabinet made a decision that said that there would be a review of the CEPEP program. This little fella last night come out to say, Faris Al-Rawi must tell you that that is to fire 7,000 people. He didn't get it right, because here is a letter from the chairman of CEPEP that tells you what the 2017 decision is about. So the CEO writes a letter. Here it is. Reference is made to the matter at caption. By way of Cabinet Minute number 1327 of July 27, 2017, in an unprecedented move, restrictions were imposed on the company in that cabinet agreed inter alia as follows. Count with me. 1. All CEPEP contractors be immediately adjusted to a maximum of 3 gangs, unless special circumstances exist which would warrant more than 3 gangs per contractor, as deemed appropriate by the company. As an interim measure, pending review by the company of its ability to continue to perform its contractual obligations in the context of clause 16 of the contracts and the economic environment. 2. The contracts of non-compliant CEPEP contractors be immediately suspended or terminated for cause as deemed appropriate. 3. The contracts of month-to-month CEPEP contractors be suspended or terminated as deemed appropriate. Stop the counting. 1, 2, 3. Overall, based on the said decision, an approximate total of 7,000 workers were terminated. The 2017 cabinet decision did not provide any blanket authorization for CEPEP to renew all contractors en masse. Rather, it was to restrict CEPEP's workforce in light of concerns expressed by the Minister of Finance. Well, you heard the letter, right? The little man waving the letter, waving the letter, waving the letter. Faris, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Minister Imbert then wrote to the CEO, and I can tell you that Minister Imbert, now MP for Diego Martin Northeast, went out and spoke to the public and said, hey, there's only ever been 2 cabinet decisions on CEPEP that he's aware of. One in 2014, one in 2017. Mr. Imbert said the CEPEP contractors have been hired since 2017. Count with me. 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 9 years CEPEP been hiring contractors, including multi-year, 3-year contractors with no cabinet approval except the 2017 cabinet approval. So Pararat, the little guy, runs out to say, here is this cabinet note, and I don't mean that. And they get the man one, 2, and 3, they have a number 4. Here what did number 4 say? New contractors be introduced in the context of the need to maintain the efficiency of CEPEP and its primary aim of environmental protection and enhancement. All you hear that? That's what finance tell Eddie. Then you have a report from the Ministry of Finance. They have an audit. So November 2023 audit CEPEP. And I audit a big section on how you hire contractors. To the audit. A fellow named Keith Eddy. December 11, 2023, he writes to Suzette Taylor Leachy, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance. CEPEP's response to the draft report on systems audit at CEPEP. Here it is, folks. In black and white, in the response given to the CEPEP core increase in number of contractors, etc. The man says rationale for the increase in core contractors. Guess what he quoted? It should be noted that Cabinet Minute number 1327 dated July 27, 2017 states, he set out number 1, he set out number 2, he set out number 3, but guess what? He also set out number 4. New contractors be introduced in the context of the need to maintain the efficacy of CEPEP and its primary aim of environmental protection and enhancement. Now, how on God's earth could you possibly believe that nobody would find out that the letter that the little man waving to say they have no authority wouldn't show up, that you deliberately left out the 4th power given in the cabinet note, the 4th power in black and white. But that's not it. It does not reside only in what the cabinet note means. Because as I told you, 9 years of hiring people, contractors, including 3-year contracts without cabinet authority specifically beyond the 2017. Or are we just stupid? 9 years of evidence of reliance on the authority which Minister Imbert wrote about, told you about. You reply and rely on it all of a sudden, and quite curiously, you still have a work. Everybody in CEPEP get fired except Kiteri. Everybody gone. Only I think something wrong somewhere. So Eastman went to court. And when he went to court, he said, listen, I need an injunction to stop the firing, and that is under the contract. CEPEP roll up and say, well, okay, they have a dispute resolution clause. You have to go to mediation and talk about it. Now, mediation is you have to voluntarily agree to mediate. If you don't agree, there's no mediation. The new Arbitration Act says you could get an injunction if you want to stop something and then go and mediate. The lawyers argued that case. Anand Ram Logan, let me repeat this. Anand Ram Logan is the lawyer for CEPEP. Anand Ram Logan. I am told today on good sources, an instruction has gone out by Cal that all legal work must go to Freedom House by Anand Ram Logan. That's what I'm told. I'm going to check it out. I know that they're dealing with the Jack Warner matter. They fire all the lawyers in the matter. The leading expert in extradition gone. They hire a little junior counsel from England. I ain't seen more on that just yet. But Anand Ram Logan rolls up. And Anand Ram Logan tells them, hey, Eddie say, that Edward say, that Faris say something. He ain't get permission. No cross-examination. They call me or other people as witnesses. And the judge, in considering the matter, say, hey, there's some allegations here. I'm going to send the file to the DPP. I have no problems with that. Number one, the DPP has no powers to investigate anything. He could get a file and send it by the police. And I welcome that. No problems. Two, by the time you get to the police, you have to explain yourself. Why you leave out the 2017 cabinet note? Why you count and you get them count 1, 2, and 3 and you forget 4? Why you left out all of the history of your hirings? Why you didn't pay the people? Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, the real fight in here is 11,000 people have no money and they want to distract you by calling my name. But as I tell you, I good with that because the law will speak and the facts will speak. But 11,000 people have no money to send their children to school. 11,000 people means San Fernando is looking the way it is, as the rest of Trinidad and Tobago is looking the way it is. But when you get down to this right now, and the lawyers will speak to appeals that are to be filed in that Eastman case, rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, on the point of Anand Ram Logan, I want you to mark the spot. I want to give you a High Court action number tonight. Media, are you paying attention? Right. They have a High Court action number. I want all to pull up. CV number 2023-04473, Attorney General versus Anand Ram Logan and Gerald Ramdeen. One is the lawyer of choice for this government. Next one, chairman of NGC. Anand Ram Logan is brought by the Office of the Attorney General, and if I remember the causes of action, fraud, restitution, they want back the money that Nelson say he thief and give them. So Ole explain to me something. Since when in Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen of the media included, Ole can find that out. How does a government hire as a lawyer the man who is being sued for money in theft and bribery and legal fees kickback? How? Is it the same way last night in the 100-day celebration, Jack Warner was in the front row of the UNC crowd? Since when you go to court on an international matter, you say you're looking for a certificate, you find the certificate but you want more, and you extradite a man named Gopi last week using the same procedure I use, John Jeremy used, Bridget Anisette used, Gavin Nicholas used, Anand Ram Logan used, the same procedure. Since when does happen and nobody in the media have boo to say? Since when is it acceptable that you know Faris Al-Rawi gave the evidence against Anand Ram Logan in witness tampering charges he's still before the court on, and multiple witness statements in Vincent Nelson, and it don't matter to you that the man that advising them to call my name is a man who might be seeking vengeance? It might be relevant, no? And since when is it that nobody remembers that the Court of Appeal just this recent day, in a couple of days ago, the Court of Appeal in the case of Vincent Leonard Nelson, King's Counsel versus Director of Public Prosecutions, the Court of Appeal refused to set aside Nelson conviction, saying, hey, you're a King's Counsel, you are advised by King's Counsel, you went before a magistrate, a judge, the police, the DPP come to court and say he investigated the matter by himself and he's satisfied you're guilty. And Vincent Nelson, the Court of Appeal said, no, we're going to keep your conviction. You don't think that that caused Anand Ram Logan some trouble? He ain't worried now because the DPP reserved the right to come back, you know. In the Court of Appeal judgment, there's a very important paragraph. At the end of the judgment, the Court of Appeal says at paragraph 83, this court is of the view that a discontinuation of proceedings against Mr. Ram Logan does not bolster the applicant's explanation for the delay in making his application. The discontinuance was sought because the applicant refused to testify. Mark the spot here tonight. There is another High Court action that I will tell you about in due course, which will shock you. And I say publicly tonight, I'm waiting for the judgment in the case that Vincent Nelson brought where he sued on this indemnity. All you remember that? I'm waiting for the results to come public. It will shock you. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to quickly come to an end by asking you this. Since when Barry Padarat don't understand, that little fella, since when Prime Minister Padarat, the main activist, main actor, spokesman, designate, the man himself, he holds the distinction of firing the most number of people in Trinidad and Tobago in one shot. Ole, listen to me. I ain't joking. Who else, Ole, know fire 11,000 people in one shot? Who? Right. I want to tell Mr. Padarat, don't confuse me with the things you've been through. I read here, Barry Padarat from the newspapers must know what a criminal investigation looks like. Let me refresh your memory as I come to a close. Article by Denise Wren, published May 30th, 2020. query over $3 million account. Cops probe $3 million bank account of woman close to Princestown MP, a housewife, close relative, I'm quoting little snippets. A matter reported to the Financial Intelligence Unit by banking institution, sent to the Financial Investigation Branch of the police, criminal investigation. Ask Pararat about that. Ask Pararat about the article by Radica De Silva. On July 27, 2020, cops yet to contact Pararat on $3 million account probe. Ask about Renuka Singh's article, 2nd of June 2020. Pararat puts $3 million deposit probe in lawyer's hands. Ask Pararat about the $60,000 he had to repay the parliament for hiring his relatives. Ask him about that. You see, as Hans said to us, when your ears itching to hear what people want to say, you may be deceived into accepting untruth and ungodly words and conduct to our collective detriment. But justice comes, ladies and gentlemen, and facts stand as vindication and truth. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that all over the records of the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, and in the lawyers' hands, the facts stand. So, ladies and gentlemen, San Fernando's decay, San Fernando's 12-foot high bush, San Fernando's complete stoppage of the Housing Village Improvement Program, not a house, the breakdown of the whole waterfront. But ladies and gentlemen, in the 100 days, all you forget, anybody in here taking a mortgage or buying a house or selling a house, you still have to pay property tax. All you see any repeal of property tax yet? Every banking transaction that requires reference to land and building taxes, you have to pay it now. Foreign exchange, the rate is now 8-1. Public servants, don't tell me all will be surprised when Minister Imbert's offer of 5 and 3 goes up to 6 and 4, that the UNC will come and tell her, look, 10% is 6 and 4. Are you going to sit down? You see, ladies and gentlemen, our leader put as the focus for this meeting in defense of the people. I want to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago today, you're afraid. Many of you are afraid to be seen in public. You're dealing with a prime minister who said, I will bust your head if you're talking to people. People are afraid in this country to stand next to anybody associated with the PNM. You want back your job. You want some dignity. You want to feed your family. You want some food. Your belly burning. Kamala asked last night, will Faris Al-Rawi's children be satisfied cutting grass? Yes, they will. Because it's an honest day's living. And in case you didn't know, agriculture is food. Agriculture means industry. Agriculture means employment. Money grows on trees. It's called agriculture. I have no problems. I tell you now, you could become a millionaire cutting grass if you convert it into biomass fuel, if you create it into sargassum coming into position. You just have to have a brain. So for all of us in this country who are afraid of the UNC and the bullying and the tactics, is no wonder Anil Roberts cannot be found. He is conspicuously quiet. I don't know if the Hyatt bill has been found. I don't know who liming in places making deal. But I can tell you, sometimes silence is golden and it speaks. And for those of you who are worried, rest assured, there's a lady called Penny Beckles, we call her. She has the generosity and wisdom to build her team. You saw Hans Devines tonight. You saw Brian Manning tonight. She lets each one of her members speak, grow, establish, because we are strong as a unit, as a people, as a movement. That is where we are strong. So I have no fear of anybody, let alone the little man. Let alone the little man. No problems. All I could tell you is 15 years you're calling my name, wheel and come again. Because great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we shall and will prevail.
Give me our good leader. If some sinners coming, with them I go be dealing. Because the things that they do me, I don't fix them personally.
PNM family, we move right into our next speaker, who is a career public servant, an economist, a former permanent secretary of both the Ministry of Energy and Finance. He has served as High Commissioner of Canada and the UK. He is the former Minister of Finance. Please join me in giving a San Fernando East welcome to Senator Vishnu Danpal.
Come with a free pass, a YouTube account and a leave blast. A nice little house and green grass. This are some of the vilest creatures. And if you come here with a weak heart, you go pass out before the week pass. Discourse and cheapers, creepers, werewolf monsters and reapers. I come from
the political leader of the People's National Movement, opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, member of parliament for Arima, and a lady who has never once tried to bust my head. I have to confess that. You know, for me, it is surreal, because I'm from Woodbrook, it is surreal always to be in a constituency of San Fernando East. Because I say without fear, Patrick Manning was my mentor. And he treated me like family. And you know, driving down here, something crossed my mind. Calypso Fiesta. I would not like to be a UNC supporter walking through Calypso Fiesta in 2026. Calypso Fiesta next year is going to be brutal. So a bit about me. And I don't really have much to say about myself. I'm not narcissistic in the least. But I have a record that no one in the UNC can claim. Not one person in the UNC can claim. Do you know that I've worked on every single budget of every single UNC administration? So they can run, but they can't hide. I worked on all the budgets of Brian Quaitong. I worked on the single budget of Gerard Yatming. I worked on the 2 budgets of Winston Dukaran. I worked on the 3 budgets of Larry Hawaii, who is now the governor of the Central Bank. So I have a lot of goodwill with the Honorable Prime Minister. That's why I like to give her advice, because sometimes I feel she's not being well advised. So Budget 2026 will be very interesting, because I will fact check them to death. You can try to fool some of the people, some of the times, but guess what? You can't fool Vishnu Danpal when it comes to budgets. But seeing that I'm the only person here without a cheerleading section, I don't know, just guessing. Hands, I could take a borrow. All right. I'm just here to not spoil the party, but as the political leader wants me to do all the time, bring balance to the discussion. Okay? And I'm here to tell you two things, just two things. To tell you about something that's trending called tariffs, and to tell you what you can expect in budget 2026. I wrote it for them already, right? And I can tell you exactly what will be in budget 2026. So let's deal with tariffs. I'm sure you've been hearing about all these tariffs, what tariffs could do, and it may sound boring, but I'm telling you, if you trivialize the impact of tariffs, the economy will be destroyed. Simple. Do not, and me personally, I think I have the view that the current administration is trivializing the impact of tariffs. That 15% could lead to, let me tell you, that 15% could lead to several negatives. The decline in the accumulation of foreign exchange. One. And you think it's difficult now? Two, the reduction in export volumes, because your exports are now more expensive going into the United States. So your exports are now less competitive in the United States market. And I cannot blame the Trump administration, because the Trump administration has applied these tariffs mainly to countries where they see, or there's a negative terms of trade with that country, meaning that this, like us, we export more to the United States, significantly more to the United States, believe it or not, than we, in value terms, that we import from the United States, mainly because of the oil and gas, which are in fact exempt from tariff. The business chamber came out and they said they're worried about the market access to the United States, as they should, and the overall profitability of the exporters of Trinidad and Tobago, as they should. Another impact, inflation. You think prices are high now? I am sending a warning to the government from Vishnu Danpal. Do not trivialize that 15% tariff. When you have declining foreign exchange earnings, there's only one road you're heading down: devaluation. Okay? Something that the government eye on. You disrupt supply chains. You create problems for people to get inputs. You're going to drive up prices and inflation. So the Honorable Prime Minister mentioned three responses. Well, she started off saying that the government will respond in three ways. First, negotiate with the United States. Negotiate what? There must be a point to negotiate from, but I will give some ideas shortly. She said she's going to look for alternative markets. All right? Nothing is wrong with that. You can expand existing markets, look for alternative markets. The Indian Prime Minister was just here. Who knows what can happen with India? The Ghanaian delegation was just here. Who knows what can happen with Africa? All right? Not a bad idea. But my response would be, you have to negotiate with the United States and Tobago, reducing the tariff. United States because I could always impact that revenue again. So those are the options that I would give the Honorable Prime Minister and our government. But I would also give a few others. They can establish a trade impact desk within the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism. Nothing is wrong with that. Provide tariff impact calculators, advisory support, and market entry grants for new trading regions. Continue the dialogue with the United States, because there's nothing to stop the Trump administration from sending the tariff up to 20% next month, or 25. There's nothing to stop them from doing that. Once you run a balance of trade, a negative balance of trade with them, you can do it. You can deepen intra-CARICOM trade by enhancing regional supply chain linkages and strengthen the CARICOM single market and economy. You could pursue and deepen trade and investment agreements with alternate partners. There's Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia. And you can expand trade facilitating infrastructure, like expand your ports and logistics, etc. But let me tell you something that people seem to be missing. I'm trying to remember the Jamaican, the dancehall artist who sang "Life is a Cycle." What was his name? DJ Richie Spice. Life is a vicious cycle, right? A vicious cycle. Let me tell you why. Because when you put pressure on already vulnerable economies, like that tariff is going to do in the Caribbean, you're creating the potential for unemployment, because a lot of businesses may go out of business. And what you're doing there, you are just assisting the gang culture. And let me show you where the vicious cycle is. You're creating the gang culture. And me personally, I have never seen a gun factory in Trinidad. I have never seen a coca plant in Trinidad. But when you, guess what? For the drugs and the arms, the Caribbean is not the final destination. That's the last I would say on that. But I would repeat, the Caribbean is not the final destination. So you put pressure on vulnerable economies as a large first world country, you do it at your own risk. So, what to expect from the budget? I can tell you the first thing you can expect from the budget, a deficit budget. Expenditure significantly higher than, there's a difference between what you expect in the budget and what you would like in the budget. Significantly different. You're going to expect increased borrowing because you have to finance this increased deficit. The assumptions behind the budget. They're going to use the same oil and gas assumptions that they use in the mid-year review. What you can expect in the budget. Hopefully, the negotiations for the 10% for public servants will start. But from the time, I remember the head of the PSA didn't say 10%, A lot of people, as we say in Trinidad, getting tied up. She did not say 10%. She said she's starting at 10%. And when you start at 10%, you could go down, You're aware of that, right? Okay, just saying. Also, just today, and I find it a bit worrying. Today, the government signed a production sharing contract with ExxonMobil. The investment is probably worth around 22 billion US. Not million, 22 billion. And what I find rather interesting is this Mr. John Adil, who is the vice president and in charge of global exploration for ExxonMobil, mentioned in his speech today that it has been an intense 6 months of negotiations. What does that mean? That the negotiations started under the PNM. And for that, I have to thank, we have to thank former Minister of Energy, Stuart Young. And Minister Dr. Munilal himself also said during that ceremony that the government approved the transaction in December 2024. But we'll be keeping an eye on that transaction because it has the ability to take Trinidad and Tobago to the next stage. And yet another oil boom could be on the horizon. And that has to be managed and monitored carefully. But I will tell you this, the input or the revenue would not come in tomorrow, you know. That gas and oil would not be monetized until about 2028, 2029. Guess what's in 2030? For the most. So what you can expect, how many people here are retired public servants? You know what you can expect in the budget? And insist that you get it? No taxes on your pension. You can ask for it. And you know what you can expect in the budget? Because they said it over on the campaign trail, a reduction in the price of fuel. You think these promises coming to pass? But on behalf of everyone here, and on behalf of the country, I'll be there to fact check. But you know what they're also planning to do, and I suspect this, and this could create a lot of havoc in the economy. I think they're going to be tapping into the Heritage and Civilization Fund. I think the scenario is there, the stage is set for accessing the Heritage and Civilization Fund. And I think that is where we're going to have serious problems. Now, some advice to the Honorable Prime Minister. Now, you notice I didn't say advice to the Honorable Minister of Finance. Because let me speak to the Prime Minister. Makes sense. Oh, by the way, just before I go on, I just remembered something. I like to challenge people, all right? I like to challenge the present government. But I'm not challenging any short man to walk through Calypso Fiesta, okay? And no way. I'm not taking that chance. Faris, you could go ahead with that. The Prime Minister said today that talks are underway with the World Bank, the IFC, and the IDB to raise money. Now, there are two sides to this. The World Bank lends to, this is the World Bank, not the World Bank Group. This is the World Bank, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the IBRD. They lend to countries at specific rates. We have been described as a high-income country, so they lend at high interest rates to us, much less than they will lend to a medium and low-income country. All right? So it is easier for us to access commercial borrowing That'll be my first advice to the Prime Minister. Forget all that old talk about multilateral borrowing because there are conditionalities attached to them. Go, if you have to borrow, go to the commercial bank, whether it's domestic or external. Second piece of advice to the Prime Minister. They're speaking about PPPs, public-private partnerships, as though there's no sovereign component. When you borrow money and you have things like PPPs, and the government is part of the PPP, and one partner defaults, guess who has to pick it up? The government. Be careful of those things. Those guys are moving around buzzwords, economic buzzwords, and MBA buzzwords like what? Exactly. They're just moving around and saying and doing whatever they want. And finally, this old talk about they met a crashed economy. I say it over and over again. Have you heard that they said the economy has crashed and it would go on at 2.6 billion? So how come they didn't find the 2.6 billion yet? You know why? It never went anywhere. It is physically impossible to take $2.6 billion out of the central bank. It doesn't work like that. It is just simply, and you know what? The Auditor General will come next year and say, you know, it was really a glitch. That's the sad part about the thing. And also, you know, when I was growing up, I'm going to show you how this crash economy old talk is a lot of old talk. When I was growing up, you could tell the age of a car by the series, right? Every year, because every year they change one series. So, you know, in 1 year, a car could be 20 years because of the alphabet, right? But right now in Trinidad and Tobago, we change a series once every quarter. So that means 9,999 vehicles come onto the road every quarter. Who are the people purchasing these vehicles? Is that the sign of a crash economy? Where people getting this money? And just before I wrap up, one final piece of statistic. I'm going to repeat that every time I have a chance to. It's something called credit to the private sector. In other words, how much loans, how many loans are that people in the economy that you take from commercial banks. Here it is. This is a crash economy. Yeah? In 2022, $66 billion for business and consumer loans. In 2023, $71 billion. In 2024, $78 billion. And in April of 2025, in a crash economy, where people are seeing confidence in the economy, $80 billion. So if that's a crash economy, then I don't know economics. I will leave that to the Minister of Finance to respond to. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's lovely to be here in San Fernando.
And thank you, Senator Dan Paul. We are happy to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Curtis Shade, Field Officer of the People's National Movement, Senator Foster Cummings, General Secretary, Ms. Laurel Lizama, International Liaison of the PNM. Welcome to San Fernando East. And please also allow me to specially acknowledge the operations team who has been working all night because of how this center has been overflowing with you lovely people. We thank you. We appreciate you, operations. We now have a cultural item from Miss Joanne Foster, who is the 1994 National Song Festival winner, 2013 Calypso Queen, an entertainer, mother of one, and she is going to do a song for us this evening, Bless Me. Miss Foster?
Pleasant good evening. When will you bless me? Lord, please let me know. I got a hollow, one day girls go blow. Give me anointing, something we go flow. I got a hollow, one day girls go blow. So Baba shower you bless. Oh, yeah. Show me your love way. Yeah. So Baba shower you bless. Oh, show me your love. So baby, show me your love. So that me one day one day so that me one day say I want to oh no, wanna be the girl they talk about. Say I want things for the area. Every day we come down for area. When will you let me know? So let me know when the money goes low. Be my lover. One day goes alone. Let me know when the money goes low. Be my lover. One day goes alone. So I will shower you with. Oh, yeah. Show me your love, yeah. So Baba, shower you with. Show me your love, yeah. So make me show me your love. Thank you.
And we have now reached that place where the air is rare. I want to invite Mr. Malik Lewis to do a very special introduction for us. Malik.
We take good care of you, only the PNM understands. We love you so, we take good care of you, only the PNM has a plan. In service to the people.
Pleasantville, good evening! Come on now, man, always do better than that. Pleasantville, good evening! I stand here on all protocols that would have been established prior. My brothers and sisters, every great movement is renewed by leaders who understand that our strength lies both in the proud heritage we defend and the bold future we must build. And today, the People's National Movement stands in that moment of renewal. We are ready to rise, ready to rebuild, ready to lead. Are you ready? Are you ready? My brothers and sisters, at the helm of this new chapter stands a leader of vision, of courage, of integrity. A woman whose words is her bond, whose hands are clean, whose heart is pure of service to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. My brothers and sisters, she is not swayed by the winds of convenience. She stands firm in storms of challenge, and she chooses principle over popularity every single time. My brothers and sisters, her resolve unshakable, her record undeniable, her service unmatched. From councillor for Arima Northeast to the opposition senator, to member of parliament, to minister of government, to the ambassador of the United Nations, to the president of the UN Women, and now back home, serving our people of Arima, yet again, as the member of parliament. And my brothers and sisters, the first woman to lead this great party. She is a woman, she's a woman full with grace. Her grace is with guts. Her elegance is with strength. She is steady with the hands that guide and the firm voice that defends the people of Trinidad and Tobago. She has walked the corridors of power with the same honesty she brings to the streets of her community. And everywhere she goes, she leaves her footprints of trust, respect, and hope. She is not only breaking barriers, she is building bridges for generations to cross. San Fernando East, PNM family, Trinidad and Tobago. It is my privilege, it is my joy to welcome a daughter of the soil, a servant of the people, a leader, unshakable integrity, and a woman who will think of God. Next 5 minutes, Trinidad and Tobago, Honorable Penelope Akpina,
so tell them come from by now I'm feeling the tension. It's too much to mention. Take up my attention. Already things you accuse it. I don't get things you abuse it. But now you cannot refuse it. I was born in a delay. I look like so I get to be why is that not the truth? And how I fight it. Here comes the it looks the best like they want to us. No matter what they do, they have to come for it. We get him like they want to come for it. So tell them come for it. Tell them we don't fear nobody. All of them are confront with me anywhere we go. We fear nobody. Tell them we don't fear nobody. All of them want to stop me. Tell them we don't fear nobody. Fear nothing and fear no demand. I say,
yeah. Let them know PNM people ain't afraid of nobody.
You know, the thing about politics is that talk very cheap, you know. When you see people get desperate, they say they talk a lot of foolishness, you know. You know, it's something called grand charge. So when people talking about busting head and thing, that is grand charge. That is all talk. Where we are now in Trinidad and Tobago, this is about governing. This is about trust. This is serious business. So when you lead in a country and you have the opportunity to talk to people and you want to talk about busting head, you can't be serious. You mean that you can't run nothing. So I am in the city of San Fernando. Your worship, the mayor. Councillor Robert Paris and all other councillors and your member of parliament, my colleague, the Honorable Brian Manning, member of parliament for San Fernando East. And because I'm not going to go through all of my colleagues, because there are so many of them here tonight, and I want to thank them for coming to San Fernando East. I think one that wasn't mentioned, and that is our General Secretary, because I was looking for him. The Honorable Senator, the Honorable Foster Cummings. All my deputy political leaders. And I'm not sure if but let me specifically mention them. Former Senator Jennifer Baptiste Primus. And Sanjay Budu. Mr. Carl Imbert, whose name was mentioned tonight, he has been out of the country. I think he should be back now. Our chairman, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez, who has been doing an excellent job. And of course, my husband is somewhere in the back, but he's here, Mr. Noel Robinson. I just want to thank him for all his support. People of Pleasantville, people of San Fernando East, I walked together with, Brian, Hans, Amory, we took a little walk this evening. I want to thank you for your hospitality. It's always a pleasure to be in San Fernando East. Now, I am now the member of parliament for Arima. Yes, Arima in the house. But the last time I didn't give credit to the fact that I was born in San Fernando, I got into trouble. So San Fernando, beautiful. What is important about tonight is that as I walk through Pleasantville, of course, it's kind of difficult to walk through Pleasantville and not see the Honorable Patrick Manning. Yes? It is impossible to not think about him when you're in San Fernando East in particular, Trinidad by extension, but specifically when you're in San Fernando East. And I must tell you that when I saw the results for the general elections, I got a little worried. Not very worried, a little worried. But as I walked with Brian this evening, and I listened to the persons who spoke with us, there's a lot. My hope is fully restored. And I have no doubt that when next elections is called, those of you who voted for the UNC, because of the fridges that you got, because of the money that they gave you, and because of all the false promises, in 100 days, you have realized that they cannot be trusted. And I have no doubt that the 100,000 plus people that decided that they would not vote at all, that you are going to come home to the people's national movement. So for whatever reason, Brian didn't blow his trumpet, but I am going to blow it for him tonight. Because in the last 5 years, and you know, because I am from San Fernando, I can speak, as we would say, with authority and with knowledge that is personal to me about how San Fernando has been transformed. Because I went to school right there, San Fernando Girls Government, then St. Joseph's Convent. Yes, any convent girls in the house? Yeah. And I know what it was like years ago when the majority of this area was really sugarcane. And it has now been transformed into one of the largest housing developments in the Caribbean, not just Trinidad and Tobago. And that was the vision of the People's National Movement. And sometimes, because of our performance, and it is so continuous that we forget that is PNM policy and it is PNM performance. So when you walk through Pleasantville, when you walk through Current Hills, Cypress Hills, Riverside, North, South, and East, Torradale, Dubisam Park, and the reopening of the Coquille Pool, which I am told you don't have access to right now because the government closed it down, but don't worry, you're going to fix that. And I can go on and on and on about the multiplicity of housing projects done by the People's National Movement for the benefit of San Fernando East and San Fernando West. Faris talked about the projects. More than $1 billion being spent by the People's National Movement for the improvement of that area that we saw, a special area in San Fernando that for years that we always wanted to improve, where you'll have the port and that level of improvement that could make you feel that you are in another part of the world. That was a vision of the People's National Movement. So I thought it was necessary for me to say that. And when I came this afternoon, you know, there were some complaints about the plaza, a couple complaints and so about the school. It's important to say that that is some of the feedback that you gave me. And we know that there was work to be done by the HDC. And I will never deny that things should not have been better in some instances, because I am here to talk to the people, not just of the PNM, but of the country. And many of you here are coming to hear what I have to say. And I have to say that when we are in power again, in relation to some of the houses that have been delivered to our people, we have to improve in terms of the quality of the work that was done. Because it makes no sense pretending. I mean, we know, I'm a former minister of housing. So I was called many a time. And I've walked many a place in San Fernando, in Couva, in Arima, in St. Joseph, where people have had legitimate complaints. But as I say to you, it hasn't fallen on deaf ears. And part of our responsibility as we walk, I am a new leader. And yes, people like to say it was in the PNM before. I am walking myself now as the leader of the People's National Movement. So I can listen. It's not that I wasn't listening before. When you listen before and when you listen as a leader, it's two different kind of listening. And I give you the assurance that as my colleagues walk with me, we continue to listen, we continue to develop our vision, our mission, and we continue to prepare for our return to government. So, I mean, a lot of what I wanted to say tonight has been said, but there are just a couple things that I feel I need to repeat. And, you know, the issue of 100 days is very interesting because if you listen to the meeting tonight, you would tell yourself, well, I mean, they ain't really do nothing because, I mean, if you want a boss head in 100 days, something had to be wrong. If you have to threaten your ministers and tell them, hear what? If I only hear that you're in Hyatt, having a meeting with the 1% or whoever it is, because you know they have a little thing with the 1%. If I only hear you there, I go fire you myself. Well, who else go fire them? But the question she needs to ask herself, what are they doing there, having meeting that will cause her to want to fire them? I mean, the whole document about who come by Children and thing and who going by Republic Bank and all of that, you know, and given the impression that whatever was transpiring there is something similar to what used to transpire under the People's National Movement. But it's a new minister, it could be similar. So don't blame us. If it is if your ministers involved in illegal activity, you deal with them. But don't say that when they're doing it, it was something similar to what we was doing. That ain't making no sense. And look at what has happened over the 100 days. Faris listed it. I don't want to go through the whole list because everywhere you walk, you're remembering. We are in the month of August, ladies and gentlemen. You know what happens in the month of August? School books, uniform, right? School bags, whatever little vacation that you could go on, all of that finish. And it is not only members of parliament and senators and councillors. Every little neighbor in a street, they're asking for help. Now, some of us, our memory is too short. And some of us just forgive too easy. Go back to the day when our goodly prime minister was sworn in. Oh, I love the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, I love the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I love you and I love... For real? What mother, sister, wife, leader love with one hand and the next day fire? I mean, oh gosh, for real. Unless if they have a different definition of love. And I strongly suspect their definition of love and ours is totally different. Because there's no way that you can love a mother and a sister who you know is depending on that salary and that job. But your philosophy long before about winning, your concept of winning is firing. Because there is no way that in less than 100 days, you could fire more than 30,000 people and claim that you love them. Come, people from Trinidad and Tobago, let us be serious. And I mean, all the court matters. Now you're going to do an audit. Huh? You're going to do an audit now. You fire them already? Where are you going to audit? To justify the firing, oh gosh. So we need to understand that when the people of the UNC told you that when UNC wins, everybody wins, it was a total and absolute lie. And I want you to understand the worst thing that you could do in life is when people sit down, they plot, and they plan and they conspire to lick you up. And that is what the UNC did. And they did it in a way and designed a comment to make you feel comfortable. You know, when you get into a false sense of security and the songing good and the music playing over and over, everywhere you go, sometimes you go, all the little children, everybody singing. No, I'm telling you this. There are places on the Beatum and in Laventille and in other places where they had up the flag, they're taking down every single one. So, I'm warning you, because local election will come just now, THA election will come just now. They're coming with a new slogan. They're planning, they're waiting, they're strategizing, because we don't like to say it, but they feel plenty are we dotish. But you must be dotish once. Don't get catch again. Because when they come back this time, and they offer you the fridge and the money and the stove as they went to La Hoqueta, and they give them everything, bed, microwave, all kind of thing. Some people stay home, some people have vote. Now you see, for me, I wouldn't take it, but I can't tell you can't take it. You mightn't have a fridge, you might need the stove, you might need the microwave, so you could take it. But for God's sake, vote for the PNM. One of the things that you must understand when you have the choice to select people to vote for you, you must ask yourself, if you're only seeing the person a month before the election, when they lost, you are seeing them again. Oh gosh, they go come back and you're going and vote for them. The Manning name is, how much years? I can't even check. And I'm not saying because it's Manning you're going to vote, but I'm saying look at the history, look at the performance, look at the commitment, look at the love. So watch yourself again, don't feel it finished, They come in better, because they have perfected the art of mama guy in you. And mamagism is something that we must be sensitive about. So when they come wrong here and they're talking nice, and as soon as I win, you will get a house, you will get a this, and then afterwards, you can't see them. Just as how Faris is telling you that they have an invisible MP in San Fernando West. Invisible. So let me just endorse and repeat a couple of things. And it has to do with finances. One of the things that we are forgetting is the ease with which they dispose of the governor of the central bank. Because again, I'm telling you all, sometimes our memories are too short. You see the amount of people they fire and the speed at which they're doing it. You can't remember everything. But the governor of the central bank, gone. And there are those of you who forgot that when they were coming into office in 2010, they told you when everybody gets to 60, they will get a old age pension. You see, some of you forget already. They didn't have no criteria, Everybody gets it. As soon as they win the election and they get into office, and people say, "Where's my pension?" They say, but it's in the manifesto. Hear what they say? It was a misprint. You hear lie? So they are prepared to convince you that they will do certain things. And once they get into government, they don't care about the explanation that they give you for not doing it. So don't be surprised if you ain't get your 10%, if you had to pay a property tax. Wait until all that they have done to discard the TTRA. Wait. Because as Vishnu told you, I hope all you're listening, where they getting the revenue? I sat in the parliament and I heard every single one of them get up. Oh, the PNM crashed the economy. The PNM crashed the economy. Lo and behold, I heard the Minister of Trade boast about favorable balances of trade. I heard them boast about the Revenue and Stabilization Fund. Who is responsible for those successes? All of a sudden, you're not hearing them talk no set of negative, about issues of the budget and revenue. Because as was said a while ago, that Exxon deal that they signed, they're so bold-faced. They will not give former Minister Stuart Young and the Honorable former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley, not a single credit. None. So let us give them the credit. Don't forget, within the first 2 weeks, they jump up and tell you, they go in Guyana, they're going to sign an agreement with Guyana for oil. They're going to sign an agreement with Grenada. Well, the Guyanese Prime Minister get up and say, it ain't have no oil for oil. None. Likewise, Grenada. So Guyana and Grenada done. No shame. They have no shame whatsoever. And that negotiation was started in December of 2024 when the People's National Movement was in office. But you see, they so want to give the impression that Stuart don't know what he's doing and Stuart not a good minister. It's the same Stuart Young that did the negotiation. So we understand, not just now, but going back to Dr. Eric Williams, going back to George Chambers, to Patrick Manning, to Dr. Keith Rowley, the People's National Movement has always had vision for the energy sector, for the housing sector, for the health sector, for the education sector, for the agricultural sector, and that has always been PNM policy. So I fear nothing, because we all understand that you all gave us some messages. And some people don't like me to say it, but I'm not afraid to say it. A number of you said to us, we lost our way a bit. And we have to admit that. I'm not afraid to admit it. Right? Or did we lose our way a little bit? Right. Some of them want to kill me for that. But if you have to improve, if you have to move forward, we have to do healing. Like, everything is not going to happen overnight. We understand when you have change in leadership, everything ain't gonna go smooth right away. It's not like you're flipping a coin. So they mightn't like everything that I do, but I understand that is part of leadership. That is part of change. When you lose an election, things take a little time, people hurting. And as I said before to my PNM people, whatever we have done at that time, I am sorry. We apologize and we need to move on. And therefore, you now have to understand, and I'm saying it very plain, time to come back home. It's like when you have a little problem in a marriage, you had to go, the husband had to go and say, listen, darling, a little trouble here. Oh God, I need you back. I can't cook, can't eat. I am saying to my PNM people, it is time to come back home. Very interesting, the opportunity to compare. You see, sometime when you leave and you go by a friend to stay, when things are looking good and you say, all right, you're gone. After they will watch you good first night, second night, third night, they start to watch the door, Them UNC start to show you the door already. So the point is, we are doing our homework. In the leadership of the party, we are going to constituencies, we are walking, and we are walking everywhere. We went to Dominic Romaine, Mount Sika, Malabar. We are here in San Fernando East. We are going to go to Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West. We are going to go to Laventille, East Mover, and we are going to all our 13 as well as the other 28 constituencies. And we expect that when you see us, you're going to tell us like it is. It's not easy to take the little buff and thing, but all that's important. Because if you don't tell us, then we wouldn't know what we did wrong, and we would make sure we fix it and we don't make the same mistakes next time. So, they like to tell you, well, the press here. And so, yes, it have others outside listening. And we have to avoid some mistakes that we made that were very obvious. And when I say that, it's all of us. All of us. There's enough room for everybody to take a portion of the blame, but there is also enough room for all of us to be part of the solution. So I want to say to my colleagues who were part of the internals and all of those things, it finished. There is new leadership. Come on board, prepare yourself. Say what you have to say, because my door is open. As I said to you, I'm going to have office in Balize House. I'm going to have office in the leader of the opposition office. I'm going to Tobago as I have gone. And those who are there with me are working, and we are ready to serve you. So I want to touch on about two other matters, because I want to say to you that this sweet talk is going to continue. And you must distinguish between truth and lies. No matter how good it sounds, you have to be able to distinguish. So, sometimes it's good to bring a little newspaper. Regiment commander sent on 605 days leave, army shakeup. All you read it? All you hear the real story? All you know he come back? 605 days leave, but you only take 1 day? And they say, come back. Now, we all know that this is a state of emergency. And we understand that for institutions like the regiment and the prisons, when you're in a state of emergency, you have to be careful who you're sending home. Not so deputy political leader. They send home prisons because, they had a big story where they find a television. Right? Remember that story? And inside a cell. And when you hear the real story, that was a total lie. But again, when you see they building a case, you understand? They're building a case. So next thing you know, head of prison's gone home. Then you come now, Sunday, they call him and say, take your 605 days. By Monday, they tell him, come back. And why? But you all know who is the head of national security. All you know who is the head of national security? I didn't say that. But it's looking so that let me just say that one has to remember that the Chief of Defense Staff takes instructions from his minister, and the line minister is Minister Sturge. So he needs to tell the country whether he instructed the Chief of Defense Staff to send home the commanding officer. And he also needs to say whether or not that person was instructed to bring a person down from number 12. Or 13. 13. Imagine you jump up 13, you know, and you bypass everybody. Well, we know about Reshmi, so it's not unusual. Now, the question arises, where was the Public Service Commission in all of these? But you see, they're not going to tell you that. But we are asking the Honorable Prime Minister to explain tonight how you send him home for 605 days and you call him back in 1 day. Because the people of Trinidad and Tobago need to be assured that they are in control of issues relating to security in our country, especially during a state of emergency. Now, you know, Trinidad is a small place, and one of the things that people get upset about, especially men working in the security industry, is when they don't have food to eat. So down there in Stobbers Bay, the ration short. I want them to come tomorrow and say that is not true. I also want them to come and say whether or not they have enough stationery and all the appropriate resources down in Stobbers Bay. Because what did they do? They want to give the whole world the impression that our prisons, they're in Golden Grove, everything wrong with it. So you have to take everybody and you have to carry down Stobbers Bay. But in doing so, you ain't feeding our regiment. But don't worry, the talk will come out. Now, I want to remind you that we supported the state of emergency. Because, you know, they like to say that we were not going to support the state of emergency. We did that. And we did that because as a responsible opposition, what is very clear for us, country comes first. And if at any point in time, we believe that we need to support the government on any piece of legislation, we meet, we caucus, we agree, we disagree, but we come to a consensus and we take a position that is in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago. When they were in government, they didn't do that. They did not do that. There are many occasions when they voted against very important pieces of legislation. When they were in opposition, thank you. When we were in government and they were in opposition, there are many pieces of legislation they did not support. So this issue they're talking now about the gang and the gang and the gang. When Faris was there as the Attorney General, on another occasion, he will give you the many pieces of legislation they refuse to support. And it is not for want of the People's National Movement not bringing legislation and not saying to you, this is important. So whether it be the anti-gangling bill, sometimes they support it, sometimes they don't support it. Bail bill, we knew that when we were putting legislation in place that said we want to keep people behind bars for 180 days, they don't support it. So that, let me just say to you all, that they're going to come and tell you that we didn't know what we were doing, but we are waiting patiently for them. So they have their stand your ground legislation, And when they tell you, shoot first, everything will be all right. Even when the person is going their business, you see in the back, they tell you, go ahead, shoot, everything will be all right. Let me just say to all of us here, the People's National Movement is very concerned about the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. We are prepared to work with the government once they bring legislation that is in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago. But they are not just going to tell us, because who want to load up the matic and light up the clip and want to tell everybody what you, because they had that intention long before. It wasn't now. They made it abundantly clear about loading up the matic. And we are not saying that difficult times don't call for harsh measures. There are times as a country when you have to take harsh decisions, because we have maintained our position, and that is why we had a state of emergency that ended as well in the month, was it of April? Yes. So that, and it wasn't the first time that we had brought the state of emergency. It wasn't the first time that we brought harsh measures. But at the same time, we understand that we have to be very careful so that legislation does not come back to bite us. I therefore want to deal with my last topic, which has to do with us becoming a nation of grass cutters. As I walk through Pleasantville, as I drive on the highway, as I'm in Arima, as I go to Port of Spain, as I go to the Betham, because you know, when you go to work to the city sometimes, like all other parts of the world, you know that your country is basically on display. It's like going to the city of San Fernando. And as Faris said, bush 12 feet high. And even in their own communities, their own people are now complaining. And why are they complaining? They are complaining because you now have mosquito infestation. And as you walk out the road, you're worrying about your children, you're worrying about safety. But they didn't care about that. They did not care about that. All they wanted to do is to send all the workers home. Now you would hear the member of parliament from Moruga say, no, it's not the workers, it's just the contractors. We keeping the workers. All I remember hearing that? Contractors and workers, everybody gone home. Yeah, that was very timely. And let me place on record, as a former minister with responsibility for CEPEP, one of the pride and joy of the Honorable Patrick Manning, that CEPEP workers have transformed the environment of Trinidad and Tobago. And I will place on record that as a former minister responsibility for CEPEP, I have seen the work that they have done and the big impact they have made on Trinidad and Tobago. I shared with you all that when there was Ivan and the hurricane in Grenada, it was the Grenada government that requested CEPEP workers to come to Grenada to clean up Grenada. And the Honorable Keith Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada at the time, expressed his gratitude And the people of Grenada were so proud of the CEPEP workers and what they did to transform and bring Grenada back. Because when you went there, every tree is everywhere. And CEPEP is not only about grass cutting. For those of you who understand, when you want a cleaner environment, is the removal of bottles. If you look at what SwimCall is doing, it is a total all-encompassing strategy to address the environment. It is now recycling. There are companies that have developed from those who started off simply doing smaller projects that they're now into recycling, and that was the vision of the People's National Movement. So I want to tell the CEPEP workers who they are trying to belittle you and trying to belittle CEPEP, we are very proud of you. So as a responsible opposition, it is our duty to demand transparency. When you heard the Honorable Prime Minister say last night to fill every vacancy in your ministry, wake up. All of a sudden, they want to fill every vacancy in the ministry, but you send home 30,000 people. Didn't they tell you that they're going to create 50,000 jobs? But if you already send home 30,000, when you hire another 30,020, they're telling you what they create. They ain't telling you who they get rid of. So my people, wake up. They want now to threaten workers of local government. And they want to tell you who come to work and who assigned book, and all of a sudden they don't know about that. Huh? 7 corporations they're running. And they now want to tell Carl, we give you 2 years to make profit, or else understand what their strategy is. It is just like telling us that the PNM crashed the economy because they're looking to blame everybody for their incompetence. And they're taken in front. They are taken in front because they know very well that they cannot run the country. And they're looking to blame everybody for that. So let me just close by saying to you that as the People's National Movement, we will restore dignity to the workers. We are going to fix the economy because they're going to mash it up. And we are going to have the responsibility to build it back. And you all know that in our almost 70 plus years as a party, we have consistently been able to ensure that the economy of Trinidad and Tobago is in good shape. We will fight crime. With fairness, not fear. We will protect institutions and defend the people of this nation. You must be mindful that it's every single institution that this government is trying to destroy. Pay attention. Whether it is the senators, every single institution, that is what their attention. Whether it's the Police Service Commission, the Prison Service Commission, the Police Complaints Authority, they are going for everybody. And you have to ask yourself if you are not next. Keep the faith. Keep the fire burning. Because anytime that they tell you that somebody votes against them in the Senate, once you vote against them, they want to get rid of you. Pay attention, because I'm telling you, they're coming for the president. At the rate they are going, they're coming for the judiciary. Anybody that does not support them, they want to get rid of them. But we in the PNM, we are ready for government. Let's keep the faith. Let us keep the fire burning. To the people of Pleasantville and San Fernando East and San Fernando West and environs, I say to you, thank you. I thank you for coming out in your numbers. I thank you for staying and listening. I thank you for keeping the faith. And I want to say to you, get ready. Those of you who are listening and you have doubts, I'm saying to you, come back home. Come back home. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we shall prevail.
Yes, I can hear them saying, boys, stop living in the past. Where can I find that energy, the raw magic that comes down from the grassroots? Yes, I'm from a place where soca, the resounding power. You could feel it any time, any hour, sunshine or summer. You will feel it anywhere you look, and it read like a storybook. I come from when Tommy used to carry it. Where used to carry it, and the Tommy used to carry it. Where used to carry it, and the Tommy used to carry it. Where used to carry it, and the Tommy used to.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we close, we thank all speakers and everyone who enlivened tonight's program. To those present here with us and to those listening on radio or viewing online, we appreciate you. We wish you safe traveling mercies as you return home, and remember, our next meeting is in 2 weeks. Stay with the PNM as we stand in defense of our people. Reach home safely. God bless.
power, feel the power, power. DJ,
touch it, bring it, baby. Touch it, bring it, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Somebody touch me, somebody touch me, somebody touch my soul. Yeah. Somebody pray to me, Jesus. Somebody touch my soul. Somebody touch me, somebody touch me, somebody touch my soul.
Who, me?
While I was praying, pray to me, Jesus. Somebody touch my soul.
Life too sweet, I can't complain. The only constant is the change, and we go touch the road again. So as long as you call my name, then I will answer. I'm a happy camper, and love is my sponsor. Oh, yeah, and as long as I'm man of life, then I will dance up. No time for no anger, I'm smiling with me hands up, yeah.
Somebody touch me,